down, and she explodes with power once again. This filly can close wherever she wants. Jaywalk is a Breeders' Cup champ. As they come down to the line, he doesn't know how to lose. He's game winner in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Mendelssohn, of course, was outrun on the turn. You know, anytime a horse is being whipped and driven on the turn, or the rider's having a scrub on his horse, and really encouraged the individual, the way that Ryan Moore was, you know, working Mendelssohn over on the turn, you know, that's a bad sign. At that point, he was trying to make a forward move, but he was just being swallowed by these other horses in here that eventually ended up finishing in front of him. He still held on to finish fourth, but it was just not the type of performance that people thought they might see cutting back to a mile. But keep in mind, that was a hard run in the Breeders' Cup for Mendelssohn, and that's not necessarily an excuse. That's more of a fact more than it is an excuse. And wheeling back, you know, 3.5, 4 weeks after a hard run in a $6 million race like that probably didn't work to his benefit. But again, the brilliance of Mendelssohn since that UAE Derby has not come out. He ran reasonably well in both the Travers and the Jockey Club Gold Cup, and obviously the connections of Mendelssohn, of the son of Scat Daddy, made the decision that, you know, enough is enough, and they decided to retire him. Looks like he'll be going to Coolmore America from what has been reported. The stud fee will be around about $30,000-$35,000. Again, it's unfortunate because it looked like that the schedule was going to be he would run in perhaps the Pegasus and maybe ship back to Dubai, which was of course the home of, you know, basically the scene of you know, his most notorious crime, winning that UAE Derby by 18.25 lengths. Unfortunately, that is not going to occur in 2019. So Mendelssohn's been retired. He finished fourth here. As I said before, he was under pressure on the turn, and he was all out just to get the fourth spot. And again, Sunny Ridge, like I said, did his Sunny Ridge thing. He got his swerve on by being able to do just that, wait patiently, swerve, make his inside move, and finish very strongly to finish third in here, as aforementioned. Meantime, pat on the back, actually, even though he finished fifth in here, he ran very hard, and it weren't for the efforts of the other horses, he would have hit the board. He ran a good race. Stan the Man was outfooted, Timeline, and then Coppertown for Todd Pletcher, as aforementioned, as I mentioned earlier, was one of the favorite horses off the Keeneland run in an allowance race, and he was nowhere to be found, and he finished 8th and last. So Pattern Recognition improves his record. He's 5 for 11. He has finished second in 5 other starts. So he has been top 2 in 10 of his 11 starts. Runs his bankroll up to $812,325 US dollars with the victory in the Cigar Mile. Again, he's a horse on the rise. Some would say that going 9 furlongs and even thinking about the Pegasus is something that's a little bit out of his reach. But, you know, again, he has certainly stamped a ticket to merit the connections, taking a look at this race and saying, you know what, for that kind of money, it's well worth it to take the chance. Again, it's a $500,000 entry fee versus the $1 million in the first 2 years of the Pegasus. So that's a little bit of a, you know, Walmart, Best Buy, Kmart discount, but still, it's a lot of money, $500,000 to, you know, believe or have the belief that your horse can be a top 3, top 4 contender in a $9 million race. So again, though, when a horse runs this well at 8 furlongs, and by the way, the final time was 134.98 for the 8 furlongs, a very nice time. That puts him right in the game. The speed figure, though we don't have the buyer on that, is probably good enough to merit an opportunity to be amongst the contenders in the Pegasus. Once again, of course, pending you have to pony up that $500,000 to get in there. But he's a horse that looks like he could really be a player in here. Again, it's not so much the opposing speed that may develop in the Pegasus, but how far can he go no matter what opposing speed is in there. There may not be any more speed on the front end in the Pegasus as there was any more than in the Cigar Mile. The question is going to be that added distance. Can he carry his speed, whether he's setting the pace, whether he's stalking, or in conjunction with a front running type, be able to have that zap in the stretch to hit the board in a race of the caliber of the Pegasus. So that's what questions are going to be abound when talking about Pattern Recognition. Ran a very good race, and even True Timber in finishing second. Can he stretch out? Is he an outside horse that may not be as much of an outsider looking in as we think, to possibly have his owners pony up the cash for the Pegasus? So that's going to be a question. For most people, Many people believe these are second tier contenders, but it wouldn't surprise me if a couple of these horses, including the winner, put up that cash to run in the Pegasus. It would be very interesting. Certainly, Pattern Recognition is a horse with all the setbacks that he's had for trainer Chad Brown. Looks like he's going in the right direction. This was a very, very comprehensive, a very, very impressive victory against a pretty good field. As I said, anytime you're able to run people's socks off from beginning to end, it's impressive, but it's always going to be a question mark afterwards what you're going to do against competition, not so much on the front end, but the competition, the stalkers, what I call the stalk and pounce horses, the mid-pack horses, and the deep closers. Can he be a contender against those kind of horses should they decide to go in the Pegasus? So that's going to be the question on Pattern Recognition. But for this particular day, this afternoon on December the 1st, 2018, in the year of our Lord, he is the hero of the CIGAR Mile, winning it by 3/4 of a length over True Timber with Sunny Ridge third. Pattern Recognition, the winner of the 2018 CIGAR Mile at Aqueduct.